I'm Caleb Brooks with the AHSAA Radio Network. I'm at Lanett High School, and I'm joined by head football coach, Coach Clifford Story. And, you know, Coach, you guys are playing at this time of year, and there's not many other teams in the state that can say that right now. And, you know, I got to talk to y'all back in August, and we talked about, you know, a year ago and the motivation that gave this group. And, you know, you were open and talking about, you know, yeah, we've talked about it, and it's something that, you know, we want to get rid of. Y'all have gotten rid of it now. You've made it to this point in the season, and you got an opportunity to go to Jordan-Hare. What's really helped this group get to this point and help y'all play better football this year?
Well, coming off the game last year against Mapleville, when they was predicted to win the state championship, and you know how a team got complacent, comfortable, just thinking just because the Lanett across their jersey, that team was just gonna lay down for them and not, you know, give them their best week in and week out. So, you know, we got outplayed. They was more physical than we were, so they really took it to us, and the kids took it at heart. So after the game, I always tell them, you got to do a reality check. You know, if you can give all you got and do all that you can do and you still lose, you can live with it. I said, but you guys know you didn't play your best brand of football, and you got beat by a really good football team who had the championship pedigree as well. But they used that in the spring when we started in January back in the weight room. They really held each other accountable. That was the key. If one missed workout, they was gonna, you know, let them know that they hadn't been missing. They weren't gonna take no excuses. When you out there on the field, they fight for reps. You know, they don't want to come out of the game. Those are the kind of things that you want from your team. So we was able to get them rolling in the right direction in that way, and they just started to take coaching. It don't matter what I tell them to do, they're gonna do it. They don't complain about it. One morning we had practice. It was out for fall break. And I told the coach, I said, I'm just going to test them today. They haven't done anything wrong. I just started making them run heels. And they knowing when they run heels, they're in trouble. Mm-hmm. But they didn't ask why we running heels or anything like that. So I knew then that this was going to be a special group.
You know, a season ago, you know, you mentioned being complacent and you know, just not having the motivation. Losing that game and now getting that motivation, have you seen that difference in this team with the hunger where it wasn't there a year ago?
Yeah, I have, because they don't take anything for granted now. And I'm a guy, a firm believer about the small things. So we really put a lot of focus on doing the small things. Even, you know, out there on the field, if it's one guy's had drunk a Gatorade and the bottle's on the ground, I'll see if one of them gonna step over it or they're gonna pick it up and put it in the trash can. They'll pick it up and put it in the trash can. They don't take the tape off on the field, throw it down, they're gonna take it, go put it in the trash can. Just things that, little small discipline things that take a little extra effort. They do those things, and so I knew that with this senior group that they've been winners their whole life. Mm-hmm. Majority of them got 4 state championships. There's 3 in basketball and 1 in football. And so they just been around winning, and to see the tears roll down their eyes after that game, I knew then that this small senior class I had was going to be eager and motivated to have an opportunity to get back.
You know, for you, you've gotten to coach your sons, and you know, you coached your older son, and now you've got Christian and your younger son on the team, and to have had all them kind of be able to play together at the same time, I mean, how special is that to you to get, you know, both of them out there at the same time?
It's very special, especially as a dad. You know, they grew up at home playing with each other, at our grandparents or whatever, playing with each other. And so to watch them out there in the yard, you don't really see that what could possibly be from that. But Trey, who's my older son, who's at Tuskegee, he's the kind of kid that wasn't just a film guru. He had to work harder at his game than Christian had to, because Christian was one of those kids that just was special, you know, from a little boy. He was always very athletic. He was always a little bit more superior than his age group. So I always made him play up. And then with Caden, whose game is going to be a little different than both of theirs, I had groomed him playing quarterback, but now he's going to be more of a defensive end, tight end type, because he's much bigger than both of them. Mm-hmm. But all of them got their positive and their negative, but at the end of the day, they got a good pedigree, they got good stock. Their mom played college basketball, I played football and baseball in college, and you know, they just have been around sports their entire lives. And you know, when you grow up around certain things, that's become a part of you. You know, if your dad is a carpenter, then you're gonna want to do a lot of carpenter work. Mm-hmm. So that's just how it's been. They just always been around the game, and be honest with you, knock on wood, you know, I haven't had to do a whole lot, because they just be around practice, they jump in drills, they learn how to throw the football, because when we out here teaching and coaching other kids, they just jump in and learn how to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, for them to have had the opportunity to be around it the way that they had. I can speak with my dad being a coach, and I got to go do stuff that other kids didn't get to do.
Right.
I got to practice with the team at 6 years, 7 years
Right.
old and stuff like that. But how much of a benefit does that really give them, and especially playing the quarterback position and being able to learn that position at such a young age?
It gives them a whole lot, because when they grow up around it, they start understanding the grind and grit that it takes to run a football program. And they see the work and the commitment and dedication that we put in as coaches to get them prepared to play on Friday nights. See, a lot of people don't see the Friday nights from the Monday through Thursday preparation. They just only see what we do on Friday night, not everything we do through the week. So they seen it growing up. They seen me up late at night watching film, doing laundry, just doing everything affiliated with having a successful program. And, and they would ask questions, and, we would get home after the game. They'd be little kids, and they'd be like, well, Daddy, why did he do that? Or why did he do that? And I would have to explain it to them, and, and they would sit down on the sofa and watch film. And half of the time they didn't know what they were watching, but when they saw something that they recognized, they would ask me about it. So it just being around it, and they understand.
And, for everything, for your son to just accomplish what he just accomplished, breaking the touchdown record, the yardage record, and for all of y'all to be there together on the field at the same time, how special was that moment just for your family? And were you able to kind of step back and be dad during that moment?
I did for a minute, to be totally honest with you. I did everything I could to hold back the tears, especially when I saw my baby boy run out there and hug him, and he started walking down the field. And after, we kicked the extra point and he came to the sideline, my older son, Trey, met him, and then my wife met him, and then, I had a chance to talk to him and just tell him, look, let's finish the deal, and, I'm happy for you. You deserve everything that you have accomplished and things like that. And just for all of us to just be a part of that moment meant just so much to our family, because, years ago we decided to get my wife involved because I wanted her to understand I'm just not up here wasting time. It takes a lot to do what we do. And by her being around it, now she understands it. But at the end of the day, they're just, how we are. We're a very close-knit family. They love each other. And for all of us to be there at the same time, it's going to always be one of those memories that's going to always stick out in my head.
Yeah, you brought up that you could tell when he was younger that he was just special. What was it about him that made him special? And at what age did you really say, we may have something really special?
He was probably about 6 years old. And Trey was playing it with the older group at Valley Rec. And he was playing with the younger group, and then Trey was missing a guy that night, and they only had 4 players. And then I asked him to play, and first he shook his head, and then I told him, I said, you need to play. And I come to find out he didn't really want to play because he wasn't dressed in his proper attire. He had to play in like some blue jeans and just put a jersey on, but he went out there and competed against those guys. And then we had a family reunion that followed that summer, and he was racing with the older kids, and then he won one of the races, but they didn't give it to him, and he cried like a baby. But my uncle ended up giving him the money to win because they saying that he really won the race. Yeah. But he's just always been so competitive, and when I say he hate losing, oh my goodness, it's ridiculous though. Really, it's hard for him to accept that that's part of life, and he just said I just can't accept it. And so he really pushes himself and try to motivate the guys around him to go as hard, because he knows that if they do what they're supposed to do and he do what he's supposed to do, that the end result will be in our favor.
You brought up with this senior class 3 basketball state championships, 1 football state championship for all of them. Having a bunch of guys that play multiple sports and play both of them, how much have you really seen that benefit this group? And what would you tell other parents and people out there about having all your kids play multiple sports?
Well, it really adds closeness to the group, because they rotate houses on the weekend. On Friday night, they're all gonna go to Waffle House together. On Saturday, they're gonna meet up at a house. They're gonna watch film. They're gonna play video games. I'm talking about from 11 o'clock to 11 at night, they're gonna be with each other at each other's house. And so it just brings such closeness to them. And then what a lot of people don't know, I dress out 39 kids. I bet you 20 of them are related in some form, whether it's cousins or whatever, but they're related in some form. So it's just a close-knit group of them. They spend a lot of time together. They understand each other, and they look out for each other. It's the big thing for me. And then they're not going to let one go lacking and the other one don't have the same thing.
For Christian, where have you seen him as this year's gone on grow as a passer, and how much has that helped this group and what you guys have been able to do on offense here late in the season?
Well, he really worked on his quarterback skills, because him having that minor surgery in the off season really helped him because he wasn't able to throw, but he was able to do some footwork. Because he would get lazy feet at times, and he would do, things not characteristic of a quarterback, because it was just him just being an athlete and using athletic ability and not working on his skill. So he had matured so much because it allowed him to study more film. It allowed him to see the game from a different view besides just at quarterback, because when he was able to come back, his throws was limited. He couldn't do any throwing, so he played a lot of receiver this summer. And so he was able to see things from the receiver perspective and from the quarterback and other positions. So it really helped him out a lot, and just to see him grow each year at the position helped him.
Yeah, and I mean, for him to have played all the multiple positions that he's played in his time here, I mean, how beneficial has that been to this program and to these teams over the year for him to be able to be so versatile?
Well, because, when he playing multiple positions, you get to learn the routes, things to do to beat certain defenses, and vice versa. When you're on that side of the ball, you learn what you do on defense, stop offense. So he got a whole big umbrella, big picture of what it's going to take to be successful at those positions. So on Friday night, when he can tell a receiver, you need to run this route because they're trying to do this, or they roll into, from a 2 down to a 3, or they trying to play 4 behind it, or they trying to play 2, or they want to, sink on cover 2, or whatever that they're doing, he can pick it up. And so as a coach, when he comes over there and tells that he sees those things, then I trust him, because I know that he have put in enough time and he learned how to study film to be able to do that. So playing multiple positions have really, really opened up his eyes as a quarterback and on the defense side of the ball.
He brought up the young offensive line that you guys had going into this season. Where have you seen them grow the most, and how much has that also helped what you guys have been able to do late in the season?
It have helped out a lot, because in the beginning, they were just so young. We had a new offensive coordinator, so they had to learn his language and things like that. And plus, they just wasn't there yet. And so they just kept working, and then we was able to start moving some guys around from a position to another position. And, the whole entire line will be back. They just few 9th graders, 10th, and 11th graders. We only have one senior on the offensive line, and he rotates with a younger guy. So they really worked hard. Coach Siegel and Coach Millen, they did a great job with those guys, Coach Jackson, to get them to understand blocking schemes and doing that little extra to put themselves in position to cut off defenders. So it have paid off tremendously for our offense.
What's it going to take this week for you guys to come out and get yourselves in position to play for a state championship?
Well, we're going in a hostile environment. We're going to have to make sure that we're not turning the ball over. We're staying ahead of the chains. We've been able to limit their possessions. They got a really, really good offense and a good defense, but their offense have not been stopped much. So we want to get them to punt the ball a little bit. Our defense get some stops. Our offense can move the ball, control the tempo a little bit, and special teams don't give up any big plays. You just make sound tackles and just play our best game. And I think if we play our best game and they play their best game, it's just gonna come down to who won it the most.
And I mean, while you've got some of these older guys that have experience, we brought up the younger line that wasn't on this team a couple years ago that made it to this point. So what's your message to those guys on how to handle this moment and handle this situation?
Well, I just told them that just relax and enjoy the game. No pressure on them. Just do the things that have helped get us to this point. So many times that we want to put pressure because of a state championship, which it comes with that. But at the end of the day, you just want the kid to be able to relax and enjoy the game and have fun. And that's what I tell them every Friday. Let's just enjoy and have fun. No pressure on you, just enjoy and have fun. And you can tell that they do that. They run around and have a lot of fun. But I think they'll be relaxed. I think they'll understand what's at stake at the same time and be locked in and focused.
Coach, appreciate you taking the time to join me today and
I appreciate you.
Sit down and talk about this huge matchup this week. It's the best time of year.
There's no doubt.
Semifinals, and congrats to y'all on making it to this point. And I wish you guys nothing but luck.
Thank you. And I tell my coach, and we laugh about it and joke a lot, but we always want to say you want to be around when the grass is brown.
Yeah, no doubt.
We are.
Yes, sir. Congrats.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.